I spent so many years afraid of you. Well, do you understand what it's like? All of this that we sit and talk about now was done against a steady barrage of he is self-indulgent. He and Arnie Zane, there is something perverse in their relationship because Arnie Zane is little and white, and only the tall black one should be on stage. Arnie Zane was constantly pushing. And what is black dance? I would like to invite you to at New York Live Arts. When did it become okay to be a serious avant-garde artist and to call yourself black? There's something you were getting at around that. And quite frankly, I am sometimes galled by the generation. They don't speak to me now. And yet, they know how lonely it was. A lot of it was loneliness. Because where did you belong? If you were not with Mr. Ailey, if you were not in Dayton, then what were you doing with those white kids? Right? You have lost yourself. Just like the issue of being, you say, a queer body. I never called myself queer. My generation, it freaks me out. It's easy to say, but it's like some people don't use the word nigger because we work so hard not to be called niggers, right? So that's one thing I'd like to talk about. So you and I have never talked. And how is that possible?
Well, we spoke like, we spoke actually. I did a talk early, come early.
Oh, I know.
Talk.
I was there.
We haven't sat down, no.
No, but how could you? This is the new generation of black intellectuals, right? And yet we have never talked because something happened when I became famous. Suddenly, there is something about the critical establishment. They like it when you are being beat to shit every day and you're outside and nobody's paying you. As soon as you, and I have no problem with Marx or no, black folks want to get ahead. Black folks want to have more than the people before them. That's a very important thing to realize. So when we talk about, because there's a cast of the avant-garde, the romanticism of the artist in the garret that's still very much with us, and it has very little to do with emerging India, China, Africa. Those people want what the West have. I had for a long time, I was at Woodstock at age 17, right? I wanted to turn on, tune in, and drop out. Drop out from what? We were on welfare. You understand? There was a kind of a lie in the notion of freedom. Arnie Zane, a Jewish boy from the Bronx, understood that you gotta get what you gotta get. That's the American thing. Bill T. Jones, don't just give that body away, make them pay for it. The art world, when we had careers, we wanted things, suddenly something had gone wrong. Oh no, but I think it's quite frankly very true to what black people are. And what about multiculturalism? You know, I think it's because Arnie Zane and I were caught in that box. Black and white man on stage, man on stage. My friend Bjorn tells me about a Senegalese dancer, Mawa, who he knew, who said, was it in Senegal that he said this? Whenever you saw a black and a white man walking, they had to be gay. Because straight ones do not walk together. Now, so there was a lot of stuff going on too, but I think that a lot of it was this in the face of all sorts of communities. So to say what his black queer body was doing, he was trying to join in the big conversation with Saint-Simon, with Proust, with James Baldwin. He was trying to do it all because we had been told that we were not our bodies. Who told us that? The counterculture did. The counterculture. I was in this town in 1970 with my brother at age 19, not a penny in our pocket, coming looking for the summer of love, which had happened already a while back. But we were there, listening to Joni Mitchell, when I was in the Third World Corridor at SUNY Binghamton. Now you gotta hear me here. And that was the place where you bring, and I had girlfriends, 2 white girlfriends. and my pot was the best pot. So everybody was coming to my room. But they were very suspicious. They were very suspicious. But you were not a down brother. So what does it mean to be you, right? And one thing about it was turn on, tune in, and drop out. I don't know if I chose Malcolm X or Martin Luther King. I chose Jimi Hendrix. Now, there's something I'm trying to say as I am dead now. This is the dead person talking. The dead people, dead artists don't get a chance to, when you will have the final say, right? But in the inside of it, it was a person trying to find meaning. Now, if I can be used for some young kid in Calcutta, or some young, and I dare say black intellectual now, or if I can be used by the Library of Congress or wherever these things will end up, it is okay. Can I make social change by someone saying the example, I don't know what I am doing. Should I say it again? Most artists do not know what the fuck they're doing. That's what you assign meaning. That mean article of Arlene Proches, did she understand that I was doing something that she could never understand? And now look at what comes at the end of the workshop. Look at how the body, look at all the things people talk about. We were doing it. That's what it means to be a leader. Now they give degrees now. We have friends at Columbia who are painters. I am astounded how slick they are. How they are being coached in art speak. How they're being coached to know how to shape a career and to talk to that. While you're still a freshman in college, you're thinking about the collections you're going to be in. We never thought that. You're supposed to be out there burning things down and just running naked. Something happens when you've been around for 30, soon to be 40 years. You don't run so well. And you're beginning to think about what it would be like if you didn't have to show up. If you could actually have the luxury of going quietly and doing something like pursuing beauty. Strange you say the late 90s. That was a period when I had been so beat up by Still Here. And people saying I'm preaching to them all the time. That I thought, oh, I'm going to take the high road. I'm going to go the aesthetic, introspective route. Oh, he's lost it. It was so much more interesting when he used to be giving the finger to audiences and make da-da-da-da-da. I was trying to get into the club that Paul Taylor was in, that Merce was in, that Trisha was in. Did I ever get to that club? You know what happens with the club? You just gotta outlive them. It's sad to say, but it's true. You just gotta outlive them. So ladies, thank you very much. But we got a lot more talking to do. We got a lot more talking to do. And it's strange that you and I, this is what my question is right now, with the generation of which you represent so eloquently. Why are we just now talking? What scared you so much about me that I was unapproachable? When did I become uncool? And am I cool again?
Right on.
It's a painful question, and it takes time and patience. Like I say, it's usually asked when you're dead, but I ain't dead. Thank you all very much. Thank you.